Many thanks for choosing us. The Bank of Ghana says it is unable to confirm if the first consignment of oil received under the gold for oil deal was paid for in cash and not gold. Some reports in the media claims the first tranche of oil was paid for with cash, but answering questions from Ningo Prampram MP Sam George at the Public Accounts Committee, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afari explained the BOG is more involved in purchasing of gold instead. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us with details. Kweku, there was a question about the currency that the gold was being bought in. What was the central bank's response?
So, Aisha, on the first matter of the gold for oil deal and whether or not the first consignment was purchased with cash and not gold, that question from Sam George, pressing the Bank of Ghana governor to commit, as the media reports have claimed in the past few days now. Indeed, an Accra media station reported and attributed that to the Deputy Energy Minister, Japan Mesa. It was on that background that Sam George put that question to the Honorable, to the Deputy Bank of Ghana governor. And his response is that as of now, he is unable to confirm because the way the Bank of Ghana works and the kind of deals they've been doing as respect to this Bank of Ghana oil deal, they are unable to provide answers in terms of whether or not the government used physical cash to buy that gold or they use gold, because as it relates to the Bank of Ghana, what they have been doing so far is to be buying the gold. And so he can confirm that Bank of Ghana has bought enough gold for the gold for oil deal, and they are in touch with government on that score. But he cannot confirm whether or not it was part of that gold that government.
Kweku Asante is a man monitoring that Public Accounts Committee meeting with the Bank of Ghana, and they've also been talking about the first tranche of the oil and when the next is coming to town. We'll try and get him back to talk more. Kweku Asante, are you back? If you're back, tell me more about when the next batch is coming so that people can have a reduction of the prices at the pumps. Kweku Asante, are you back?
So, Aisha, there's no confirmation yet in terms of when the next consignment will hit Ghana's shores, the gold for oil deal. Already, people have raised concerns that despite the first tranche coming in, fuel prices have not gone down. Only Wednesday, fuel prices have gone up, both diesel and petrol, to about 15 Ghana cedis. And so there are those concerns, and members of the Public Accounts Committee have been seeking to find out when exactly the next consignment will be hitting the shores of Ghana. Again, the Bank of Ghana has not been able to provide those details. It appears the Energy Ministry, which is spearheading this project under the Office of the Vice President, may be able to do so in terms of providing that information. But as of now, consumers will have to do with the 15 cedis increment, and they have to deal with that for some time before the next consignment reach. Already, government functionaries have put out a message that since the first consignment arrived in the country, there have been some reduction in the fuel prices at some specific OMCs, although not so much details have been given as to that. So as of now, there is no confirmation as to when exactly the next consignment under the gold for oil deal will be coming. But the Bank of Ghana also says, one, they cannot confirm when next, whether or not government used cash to buy or whether they use gold, and also that they've been defending their ability to raise enough gold to be able to undertake this project.
Kweku Asante is our correspondent in Parliament. Definitely, this is something we're following up, and we'll bring you more on that. There's an air of caution at Boko and its environs. Residents are either avoiding public places or moving with care. This is as a result of recent violence, which has claimed the lives of at least 6 residents. The military deployment to the area has described the incident as an operation geared at neutralizing the threat posed by armed men. The Regional Security Council in the last 24 hours held a crucial meeting, after which it announced stepping up engagement with traditional leaders to find lasting solutions to the ethnic conflict believed to be the underlying cause of the unending violence. The West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism wants the military deployments in the area withdrawn and replaced. Mumuni Mukhtar is executive director.
You have the use of the people of Boko accusing the military or the security services of involvement in this in terms of the violence and the killings. And the military comes out to issue a statement to deny that. Now, we understand in conflict and war situations, one of the major casualties is the truth. You know, depending on who you listen to, the narratives favor them. At the moment, whoever is telling the truth, it doesn't really matter now. What is important is that the reality is that there's been damage to goodwill between the security forces and the local population. And we need to be able to restore that, irrespective of what has happened. We need to engage in actions and activities that are aimed at restoring goodwill and support from the local population, to trust that the security services are there, not as a party to the conflict in any way, but as people who are meant to maintain stability and peace in the area.
Well, the MP for the area has petitioned Shraj to look into the matter and also compensate victims of that attack. We'll bring you more on that with that petition and also speak with correspondent Albert Story on this matter. Right now, 4 armed robbers with masks on their faces have shot a 30-year-old security man identified as Kofi Diakat house in Stone. It's a quarry, Awutu Kwe, in the Awutu Senya West District of the Central Region. Information gathered indicates that these 4 armed robbers stormed the quarry site with heavy weapons and shot at the victim and took away 2,500. Alexander Thompson, who is a safety health officer at the quarry, spoke to our sister station at JoyNews.
That around between 5:58 to 6:15. The cook, that's a lady cook, and then the manager was standing, a Chinese manager was standing outside the door. And then one security man has taken over, called Kofi Diaka. So before they realized, they saw these armed robbers coming in the max. Okay. Then the lady prompted the manager, so they ran away inside the house and closed the main door. Kofi also seeing them, he started running, and then they started firing. So I think a stray bullet touched him and then he fell down just close to where we are. So there were 2 security guys. One was behind looking for maybe whatever, I just don't understand. And then the other guy was hiding. Just as he saw them, they also started running because of the stray bullets, because they were firing. So one get down and he also started giving warning shots. So it's like an exchange of guns and yeah.
Alexander Thompson says this is the 3rd time they have been robbed.
2, 3 or 3 years. You had mom based on information that national security and civilians came here. And then the second one was 3 weeks, 2 days. Those are the hand robbers. That's the second one. And then the third one is yesterday's one. Okay. Just unfortunately, when the first incident happened, we took a learning point that there's a need to reinforce the security, which of course we've done. There's a need to actually give them enough weapons for protection, which we've done. But this one they caught us unaware. We just don't know. Only God knows. We don't know. But then we are trying to put things in order. The only challenge we haven't had a premises fenced. It's a vast area. And it's difficult to fence, but you can have a narrow gate where you can control. In the bush, we are surrounded by a bush. The place is wide open. Anybody at all can just walk in, apart from the main gate, which control vehicles and other stuff.
Let's stick with security matters and go back to the situation in Boko, because there's air of caution at Boko and its environs. We can now speak with correspondent Albert Story, who's been monitoring a RECSEC meeting and matters arising. Albert, tell us about how recent incidents have affected social life there. Hello, Albert.
Hello, Aisha.
Yes, so tell us about how social life has been affected by this situation in Boko.
Yes, so 2 days ago, when the recent incident took place, uh, the youth of Zogin, where the people were killed and the civilians were accusing the military, were very agitated. The Regional Security Council had a meeting yesterday and has given some assurances that investigations into the matter will begin, because now there are two sides of the story. The civilians are accusing the military, and the military has come out with their own side of the story as to exactly what happened. So the Regional Security Council says it will be investigating this, and that has helped to calm down the nerves a little bit. Remember also that on the day that this incident took place, the security hierarchy in Boko, together with the traditional authority, met the families of the people who lost their lives, and they had a meeting subsequently, which gave they arrived at a decision to allow the families to bury the deceased according to Islamic principles. That also helped to calm down nerves a little bit. So this afternoon, we have not heard about any incidents so far, but you will get the sense that there's some amount of tension in the atmosphere, because normally when it happens like this, people go about their normal everyday activities with bated breath, considering the fact that they do not know what would happen at any time.
There's been calls for the military to be withdrawn from the area following that complaint by residents that they were attacked by the military. But as we speak, what's the security situation in the area?
The security, from what we learned from the RECSEC meeting yesterday, are not going to be withdrawn from the area. Remember that the Regional Security Council thinks that the matter has to be investigated first. In the press release that they issued yesterday evening, the RECSEC cautioned the residents to be careful not to try and engage in any sort of combat with the military because of what has happened. So the security are going to remain in place because of the volatile situation, whilst the Regional Security Council goes on with their investigations. They are also meeting all parties and stakeholders in this matter to try and ascertain exactly how the recent incident happened. So the security are still in place, and the residents are advised to go about their normal everyday activities in a peaceful manner and avoid any attempt to confront the military in any way.
Albert Sorry is our correspondent in the Upper East region. Meanwhile, Boko Central MP Mahama Yariga has petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Charge, insisting 10 of his constituents were killed by the military. He wants compensation for families of the victims. Joseph Akable joins me in the studio with more. First, he identifies victims by names and states where each of them were. Tell us more about that.
So all 10 have been identified by their names, ages, where they lived, and where exactly they were killed. I'll run through some of them. For instance, there's one, Imoro Salifo, we are told aged 59. He was killed, we are told, by soldiers in front of his house at about 8 p.m. on 26th January. Dauda Salifo was shot and killed by men in military uniform in front of his house at about 8 p.m. on the same day. One, Akudugu Bungaba Karim, he was seen being chased by men wearing military uniforms by foot, while others were in the armored vehicle equally chasing him too. Location of the incident was in a valley near the Sunguri Primary School. Then there is Abunibia Madi, 33-year-old, died of gunshot wounds by military men wearing military uniforms who were seen chasing him on foot, while some were in an armored vehicle chasing and shooting as well.
And he talks about compensations. What does he want for these people?
Specifically an amount of 500,000 cedis for each and every one of those whose lives were taken. The amount should be paid to their immediate families as punitive damage. Restraining order against the Ghana Armed Forces from further acts of brutalities in Boko in the exercise of their responsibilities to maintain peace in the area, and also adequate compensation to those who have suffered physical harm. And so this is the petition that he sent to Shraj this morning.
Joseph Akable, he has been bringing us details of that petition by Mahama Yariga. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins because the situation has not been resolved. But back here in Accra, a group calling itself the Concerned Students Association of the University of Ghana has taken to the streets today in the Yabremo 2.0 demo against the university management's recent 40% fee increment, accommodation problems, among others. My colleague James Aveji is with the protesters. He's joining us live with more. James, I mean, what more can you tell us about the protest? Has there been any response from school authorities? Hello, James. Right, James Aveji is at the University of Ghana, and he's been with the protesters who say they are unhappy with a 40% fee increment. Well, they are actually at the Independence Square, but they are protesting the 40% increment fee and accommodation issues at the University of Ghana. James Aveji is our man following the protesters. He's joining us live. James, tell us more about this protest.
City of Ghana, they'll be telling us exactly what So they will be telling us what exactly the petition actually contains and who exactly they are addressing the petition to and what their demands are at the end of the day. But from the inscriptions on the placards that they are carrying around, some read that the VC must go. Others are saying that the hike in accommodation must fall. The other inscriptions are also saying that the school need to give the opportunity to private hostel managers to put up private hostels to actually help the school's accommodation on campus. I have let me try and see if I can speak to a few of them before they give us what is contained in the petition. And so I have one of the demonstrators here with me. Why are you not in the lecture hall this afternoon, but here at the Independence Square?
There is a lot going on in the University of Ghana, and students are not agree with the management. There are certain decisions they are taking. It's very bad, and it's hurting students. Like, how can you admit almost over 17,000 students and give only 6,000 accommodation? Like, who does that? And there are lands, and you are using it to build stores. Makwala, you are attending the school to Makwala, while students are suffering. Students are perching, paying a lot of money to perch. Who does that? Who?
So, what exactly are you demanding the university management to do about these issues?
Okay, right now, we are about to read our petition. So, we just wait and listen to what our leaders have to say. Everything is in our petition right now. So, you just come and have to join us, then listen to what you have to say right now. Yeah, thank you.
So, they will not tell us what exactly their demands are, but I am sure in some few minutes we'll be finding out more about that as they prepare to read their petition to the general public as well as the school's management. But from the indications we are picking on the inscriptions they have on their placard means that they are generally not happy with some decisions taken by the school in recent times. Key amongst them is the increase in school fees and the accommodation problems of the school. Tens of them are on the street. If you look at the number, it is not really encouraging, but what they have been saying is that this is a group concerned, a student of University of Ghana. It is not the entire school's demonstration, and so the numbers may not be encouraging. But the issues they have in their petition is the most important thing. And so in a short while, they'll be giving us what their demands are to the school management.
James Aveji is our man following the protest. Definitely there's more when we get to know what they are demanding from school authorities, and we'll bring you that in our subsequent bulletins. Now, school children in CK Copper and its neighboring communities in the Biakuya district of the Volta region risk losing their lives on daily basis in their quest to get education. The school children, who are mostly conveyed in an already fully loaded canoes, cross the Abotoase River twice daily without life jackets just to be in school. Opinion leaders in the community are calling for the establishment of a school in that community to avert any tragedy. Ivy Setoji has more in the following report.
School children in Sikekope and its neighboring communities in the Biakuyo district of the Oti region on daily basis risk their lives crossing the river to access education in Tapa, Abotoase. The situation is worrying according to the residents and children, especially when there are no life jackets for the children and even the residents to use. Some of the children who fear they might lose their lives one day crossing, just like the 8 children few days ago, want government to consider constructing a bridge across the river to help them easily go to school.
Every day we will be crossing the river. Sometimes when the boats load the first people, we'll be here waiting for the other one to come. We'll be getting late and our lessons will pass. So we are pleading the government to help us bring some school to the village. Sometimes when we come here, we find it difficult to cross the river. When we come and reach the students are very many here, so we find it difficult to cross the river. So we want the government to construct a bridge for us.
A teacher in one of the communities and also an assemblyman for the area have also been speaking on the dangers of crossing the river by the children.
We don't have a school in this area, so our elder brothers started. Then they do cross this lake to the next town, which is Abotoase, for schooling. And we all know that education is the key to success. We came together as a community and then we decided to do something for our community by putting up a structure so that we camp our young ones here so that we start teaching and learning. Actually, it was not easy. Where to get materials, how to go about it. So we have decided that Abotoase market shed has been rained off some time ago. So we have some roofing sheets that we think, when patched, can be used. But where do we get the money to put up the structure? So we have decided that no, we have to call on the founder of Honamato Foundation, Togbi Kaleji, to come to our aid. So quickly we called on him and he did not hesitate at all. He came to our aid and then come and see our effort, things that we started as community. Then he pledged to support us with 10,000 Ghana cedis. So where we are now, it is through Togbi Honamato that we are able to raise this structure. So we are appealing to the government and Ghana Education Service that they should come to our aid, because about 300 plus people used to cross daily basis from this area to Abotoase in the name of education. So we cannot afford to lose these young ones, our people, in case of any disaster, because Easter season is coming closer and there will be a storm and other things. So we don't want anything to happen before we take an action.
Still on education, 85 schools in the Midday district will benefit from the distribution of the 5,000 furnitures arriving in the district this week. This follows government's commitment to provide furniture to the schools highlighted in JoyNews' Ghana Schools of Shame feature. A visit to the manufacturing site shows all is set for the distribution of the first consignment of the desk. There's more in the following report.
The president, his vice, and all who matter within
and the JoyNews feature dubbed Ghana's Schools of Shame, produced by Jojo Kobina, a number of schools in the Midday district were shown to have no furniture, a situation which was affecting academic work both for pupils and teachers. The Education Minister, in an interview with JoyNews after the JoyNews report, said government is committed to fixing the problem. 85 will benefit from a first 5,000 furniture to be delivered to the Pandai district.
Some places have more challenges than others, so you can understand. But we have distributed furniture across the country. As I speak with you tomorrow, about 5,000 pieces of furniture is going to Pandai.
Okay.
It will be loading tomorrow, heading to some of the areas that have serious challenges.
Was this after the documentary, or you were aware of the Pandai situation? I mean,
you highlighted it, and I agree with you that when you highlight a problem, we should solve them.
JoyNews news team was at the manufacturing site of the desk Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. Benjamin Amwa, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Benji Furniture, told the news team everything is on course to get desk distributed to the beneficiary schools on time.
Last week, I get a call from Ministries of Education that they need their school desks. Do I have some? I say, yes, I have some. They said they need 5,000. Can I get it? I say, yes. Upper primary, 2,500. Lower primary, 2,500. In all, 5,000 to, I think, more than 80-something schools in the Pandai district. So I'm ready to deliver it today. So we are going to deliver them some today because we cannot carry all together at once. So now today we are going to load 2 articulators. So when they go, another 2, we are going to load another container tomorrow. Actually, I don't know how many pieces that articulator will take it. So today we will know exactly quantity that each articulator can carry to that place. My estimated is 500. That is my estimated. So that my cars will go there and distribute it to all the 81 schools because the articulator cannot do that work. So they will send all to the district office and my cars will go and take it and supply it to the various.
Let's do some health. The Konfanochi Teaching Hospital says it is grappling with a worrying number of patients who are unable to settle their medical bills. Such patients, they say, come from poverty-stricken homes in the Ashanti region and beyond. Many of them, according to staff of the hospital, either extend their stay or flee the hospital premises to avoid footing medical expenses. Health workers who have been supporting such patients out of sympathy say it is eating into their finances. Love FM's Mona Lisa Fripong has more.
Grace has been delivered of twins at the maternal ward of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. The mother of 4 was discharged a week ago, but she is forced to stay at the ward because she cannot afford her bills, totaling 1,900 Ghana cedis. She has spent another week at the facility with no help in sight.
Forced labor na dimbe pie ha. Metebu akwa agogo. Forced labor awoya na dimbe pie ha say. Hospital be tuane de any more than because I can ubeton mo nyina so ubasa tua base kakraka. Ntini more than mama pa.
Grace represents what is becoming Konfanochi Teaching Hospital's headache, a growing number of patients who cannot pay their medical bills. Here at the maternity ward of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, a number of patients continue to occupy bed space after their discharge because they have no money to settle their bills.
Oh, kwanya na mefa menye scan say yebetwa na nkra because 19 million ye nyamom ntisa no yebetwa 5 million na say baby ko nyama ya yebesa atena hwa na wo say nya bia no abetwa kopin so bewie na nka me kofi ekwanya nka metima afa so an because mintimi nko wiade mintimi nya hwe mfa ho.
Some mothers in labor come without sanitary items and materials needed for labor and the newborn babies. In most cases, nurses have to foot their bills from their private pockets. Ethia Sewayebe is Chief Nursing Officer and the Nurse Manager for ONG Directorate at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Sometimes they come in, even diapers for the babies they don't have. We buy diapers for them. Even sometimes feed them.
buy food for them because the person has delivered and she wants to eat heavy food like fufu and things. Sometimes we go to the extent of buying them fufu, lunch and supper to enable her get enough breast milk to feed the baby. So it's been a headache for the ward in charges and the ward in charges in particular.
This came to light when gospel sensation Dinah Entry Hamilton paid a visit to the hospital and paid the medical bills of some mothers at the ward. She also promised to sponsor others in various vocations.
These mothers, obviously, they are in a hospital, need to go home. And some of them, the kids don't have fathers. There's this particular one who lost her husband while she was in labor. So the child hasn't seen the father. And so it wasn't, we're singling out women in this particular instance. It just had to happen. It had to be a woman. But we do pay fees for a lot of young men as well.
Dinah Hamilton also visited the homes of some disadvantaged women in Kumasi, donating beverages, cash and chest freezers to help sustain their crippling businesses.
The aim is health promotion and education, and so we do help a lot of women in health. We do help a lot of young girls, sometimes not just even in physical help, but mentorship. We sit down with men and talk to them generally about things pertaining to life. And when we get the chance, we just need to make sure that it falls within the capabilities of the foundation, the Dinah Hamilton Foundation.
This donation was part of the annual philanthropic initiative of the Dinah Hamilton Foundation. It was done in partnership with the Casapreco Company Limited, Enterprise Life Insurance Limited and Property Electronics. Mona Lisa Frimpon reporting.
We're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We'll take a break. When we return, there's business.
Good afternoon. Let's do business now. I am Beverly Broom. Now, ride-hailing service provider Yango has developed its own Google Map direction aimed at supporting the public address and road navigation for drivers in the business. The move aims to enhance the travel interest of commuters and tourists in areas where the company operates. Country manager for Yango, Philip Ofori, disclosed this to Joy Business after handing over some prizes, including a brand new vehicle, to winners of the Yango Partner Drivers Contest.
The address system and road navigation in Ghana have been a challenge to many ride-hailing service providers, not only in Accra but other parts of the country. According to Yango, the challenge has been a thing of the past since it developed a local navigation system for its service providers. Country manager for Yango, Philip Ofori, explains.
For Yango, we actually have our own maps that we've built from scratch. So the interesting thing about our maps is we actually have picked points of interest within the city. So we've actually developed our own apps that actually work based on, our situation. So we actually are able to tailor our maps to suit our use. So we don't have these kind of issues, and it's an ongoing project. For instance, we have the thematics project where we have some cameras in cars that actually, as you apply the routes, you notice places of interest that are not in the map. It uploads to our HQ team and they add these locations as well. So that's how we've actually gone about improving location, even though the historic issues exist, but presently we've been able to overcome those hurdles using our own maps, yes.
Speaking about the partner driver contest, he assured that more of such benefits will be given to drivers to encourage them and also increase employment for the youth.
It's a good thing to feel appreciated. It helps you identify with the brand, and it also gives you the sense that you're not just working for working's sake, but your employer has your best interests at heart. So for us, drivers are a core part of our business, our operations, and we felt this was an opportune time to actually show them, in as much as they get incentives and bonuses, but this is an added layer onto the other loyalty programs we come up with to endear drivers to our brand, and also show them that it's not just about you pick up somebody, you drop them off, but there's more to what you do.
40 drivers of Yango also received mobile phone prizes, whilst the ultimate winner received a Renault Duster vehicle to support his business.
And that's all for business. We have more business on Marketplace at 1 p.m. and also on myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Beverly Broom. Have a good afternoon.
Let's do sports now. On Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah, former welterweight champion. Joshua Clottey says that his fight against Manny Pacquiao, he lost it because his manager was earning 33% of his purse money. According to him, he lost the fight deliberately to ensure that his manager does not benefit anymore.
That fight, right, the manager already accepted $1 million for the payments. I came in, negotiate to 1.350. After that,
it was a fight you could have gotten more.
A fight I was supposed to get like $2 million was the pay. And see what happens to the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view, he have negotiated. It was $100 pay-per-view. Each view was $100. He have negotiated for me for only $3. And the $3 too, he have make it like after 30,000 buyers. And after 300,000 buyers. 300,000.
So you were basically fighting for free?
So if only 300,000 people bought the pay-per-view, I will not get nothing. If 301, then I'll get $3.
$3.
Why are you going to do that? I negotiated and they said no. If I don't take the fight, I should go. So I took the fight. And the manager is making 33% in all pay-per-view, including the fight money. When I finish the fight, I'm making $85,000. The manager is making $53,000 in the night. The pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view that come, $700,000. The manager make almost like 300 plus. So the
do you regret these things? Do you regret some of these things you did?
I regret signing with that manager. I regret signing with that manager. I regret listening to that trainer who told me to sign that contract. And because of that, I started becoming a strong person. I started becoming, you cannot talk for me. It's me who will make the final decision. So no trainer in this world will make a decision for me. Never, ever. Because somebody make a decision for me, it really hurts me. I'm supposed to make like much money in boxing. Because like the Pacquiao fight, I wasn't happy because the money that was going, and even the contract left with 3 more years. So even if I did something, it's still gonna get the 33%. So I said to myself, let me blow it up, because I went to his office to negotiate that, get 25%. And let me get 8% from your person. I will be happy to fight. You don't want to do that. And the contract left with 3 more years.
No, I'm the one dying in the ring. I should go and die in the ring for you to make money. That's your sports for now. But we do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your company. Up next is World News.
Good afternoon. Let's settle for some showbiz news here on JoyNews. Now, music lovers received the package that Links Entertainment promised them in its new assets from the camp. Boy Jake, DSL, St. Lennon and Maya Blue, together forming BDSM, took the center stage at the release party of the label's new Coming Soon EP. They spoke to my colleague Ibrahim about working together.
Soon, it's already out. It's actually an EP that we released today. Yeah, so it's out. Go check it out, and I'm sure you love it.
Well, I'm just imagining how individual artists on the same label will come together to have an EP. First off, experience on working with all of them on one label on the same EP.
It's been amazing because we all got signed at the same time, so we never really got to meet each other like for real before like the EP. So it was like kind of figuring out what this person does, and as this guy said, why didn't sign them? You see, say this be why, you understand? So when collaborating with new artists, it was a beautiful experience. But to make it all like come together, Richie was in there with us, so was guiding us, showing us exactly what you need to do. But it was also like, feel free, be yourself. Like, don't be afraid of anybody. Just, you know, when it's your turn to shine, shine. Try and outshine your next person because he's trying to outshine you. But it's all love, it's good energy, and that's the experience for us.
Was that the same feeling for you?
Yes, sir, exactly. I don't know the thing go. Yes, sir. Same feeling, areas there. Yeah, working together with them all, you know. Charlie, it feels great, you know. Areas there. Same feeling, solid.
I mean, we are like a family, so we love each other, but we love each other as family. As family. Yeah, and I mean, everyone is amazing, and yeah.
Cool down. Was there some feeling, or was there something grown or something developed
he's
between
my
the two
brother.
No. This be my sister. Make nobody take him say we did. Oh, cool down. So the EP, I think is a way of, releasing the third generation of Links Entertainment, you understand? Yeah, man. So as we all day together like this, everybody go on and say, oh, these be the people where then they come. Yeah. It's not like we are a group, we are not group, you understand? But it's a way of unleashing the new artists on Links Entertainment, yeah.
Away from that, the second edition of the Black History Festival, an initiative dedicated to celebrating the strong ties between governments of the United States of America and the African Union member states, has been officially launched. Coordinator for the festival, Stephen Selassie Sio, echoed that it has become necessary for the country to promote exchange ideas, businesses, and culture amongst other innovations to the diaspora.
The Black History Festival is a program that has been specially curated to promote ties between Africa and its diaspora and its bilateral partners. And as you rightly said, this is the second edition of the U.S. Black History Festival. And the Black History Festival has other editions. We have the Homecoming edition, which happens in Africa in July, and the European edition, which happens in October. So the USA edition, which happens in February to commemorate the Black History Month, is coming up this year once again in Columbus, Ohio, from the 15th to the 18th of February. And it promises to be interesting, educative, and also entertaining. It means a lot to Ghana. Ghana has always been a leader in many ways, leader in getting liberation for the African continent, and now we are touted as the trade capital of Africa because we have the AFCFTA headquarters right here. And also now we are being called the Mecca of the diaspora because of how we have led in the Year of Return and now the Beyond Return initiative. So Ghana has a key role to play when it comes to the Black History Festival and most importantly the Black History Month, because there is no history of African Americans without Africa. Africa is the root of every African, whether in Asia or in Europe or in America. So Ghana being a number of firsts and also holding a number of roles when it comes to diaspora engagement has been very instrumental in this celebration. And the African Union, of course, have been working hand in hand with the government of Ghana to ensure other African states emulate what Ghana is doing when it comes to diaspora affairs.
Well, on that note, we end showbiz here on JoyNews today. There's more showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Becky. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Thanks so much for bringing us a showbiz, Becky. That will be it for the bulletin. And you can look onto myjoyonline.com for more of the news. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.